Our second story of experiential learning comes from Ujamaa men who traveled to the continent of Africa on July 27th. Clarence Cross Brazelton had never traveled by plane before. Bernard Johnson's dream was to travel internationally. Both men wrote competitive compositions and completed many, many hours of community service to earn their seats on the plane. The journey to Ghana was led by Dr. Atika Tyner, Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at the University of St. Thomas, to teach Ujamaa men about the history of Ghana and how Ghana connects with their cultural roots. This is another example of transformation of Ujamaa men through experiential learning. I'd like to invite Dr. Tyner to the table, to the podium. And she will be followed by Clarence Cross Brazelton and Bernard Johnson.
Now, I got a little worried. I'm like, I must be sharing notes with Dr. Bell. I had some similar themes, and sometimes we say preaching to the choir, but I hope our challenge today is to be a part of the choir. Be a part of the choir, not just sometimes I hear about this idea of allyship, that I'm with you, but I really want us to be abolitionists for justice. Do you know the distinction? The distinction means that we must take a stand and deconstruct the very systems that create oppression and injustice. So I hope when you leave this place that you modify your vocabulary a bit and say, how can I be that abolitionist for justice to break down those barriers related to mass incarceration and create new opportunities in our community? But when I think about Ghana, Ghana gave me life. Ghana found me. I had a student, and she's in the back. I'll ask her to stand. Monica Habia, can we give her a round of applause? We call her Auntie Ghana. But she kept saying, oh, we have to go to Ghana one day. And I'm like, can we make it through this course first? And can you finish your papers first? But fast forward to 5 years later, she made it a part of my life. And Ghana gave me two things that I was able to share with not Ujamaa men, with my brothers, with Bernard as my brother and brother Clarence as well, to share with them two key gifts. The first one is related to heritage, and I want to draw upon the words of the late Kwame Nkrumah, who was the first prime minister and first president of Ghana, who said, I'm not African because I was born in Africa, and this resonated with me because I was born in Rondo, so I said this is true, but because Africa was born in me. So when I think about heritage, when we had the opportunity to travel to the slave castles in Cape Coast and Elmina, it gave us an opportunity to look squarely at the horror of slavery, but at the same time, it gave us the optimism and hope to know that we were amongst our people. Nana Boydu, he was the most entertaining on this piece. He gave us all our cultural heritage by each region in Ghana and said this powerful word that I hope that we can take home with us, Akwaba. Because as you leave the slave castles, and especially for Cape Coast, you can leave distraught. But at Cape Coast, they have a sign that says Akwaba, meaning welcome home, welcome back to your humanity. And not just we get lost in black and white. But as I told my president here at the University of St. Thomas, my hope is to take every student. They're looking at me like all 10,000, yes. Every member of our alumni, 110,000, yes. Every faculty and staff member, another 3,000, yes. Because if we can understand this piece, if we can understand the oppression and the design of a slave castle to break the spirit, to create injustice, and that level of evil, I hope we can do the inverse, to create a moral good. So when I think about heritage, it's going to reclaim that Africa is a gift. And by the way, friends, Africa is not one country. There's 54, so can we get an understanding? Had a little trouble with telling the story as well. So that goes to the sense of what Dr. Bell talked about, reclaiming purpose, reclaiming the pursuit of happiness, because I saw these two dancing, having a good time. We had great joy in Ghana. And my second word, another quote from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I think will help us. He's pointing, and you can see when you go to the mausoleum, he's pointing forward. And he said, forward ever, backward never. That's really a message for hope for Ujamaa men. By definition, hope is about believing that something good will happen. But what I've seen over the years in serving on the board of Ujamaa Place and volunteering with Ujamaa Place is a clear sense that hope that Ujamaa Place provides is knowing that something good will happen. And I think of the message of the king. As I looked at the picture, I was smiling. We had an opportunity to meet the king of Akwamu Kingdom. And I know sometimes in hip-hop culture, which I was birthed out of, we say king and queens just kind of casually. No, literally, I mean the king. And so the king with the capital K, he reminded us, he said, oh, and he was looking very stern. So I'm like, did I not address him? Was it your excellency, your honor? I would have thought I was in court. I didn't know where I was all of a sudden. But all of a sudden he said, well, I'd like to join Ujamaa Place. I'm like, woo, great invitation. Yes, you can join our board and be an honorary board member. I stood up fast. But he said it's really about a hope to know that in living out the spirit of Ujamaa Place means that you're a conqueror of all conquerors. Did you hear that? That's what the theory of transformation is about. That our men become conquerors of all conquerors. You throw a challenge at them, they rise to the occasion. You say they can't do it, that courage rises up again, and they get up that seventh time and let's do this. So I don't know about you. I can't think of a better place to be. I can't think of, and I'm on many platforms, I can't think of two greater men to be on a platform with, to know that they have a story of hope, that they've beat the odds, defied the odds, tore them down for the next generation of conquerors of all conquerors. So I applaud my brothers, Brother Clarence and Brother Bernard. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning. Be honest with you, I wasn't prepared for this.
You're always prepared.
Yeah,
James Brown said we ain't got to get ready if we stay ready. We're ready.
All right, okay.
Ready.
Well, I honestly don't know what to say right now, so I'm going to just speak from the heart. I've been in Minnesota approximately 2 years now. When I came up here clueless. I had nowhere to go. I knew no one, and I had nowhere to go. I came up here of faith because I got tired of living the life that I was living and going through the stuff I was going through. Mom deceased, grandma deceased, stepmom deceased, and I had no hope. So I was never a religious person, but I always was a spiritual person. So God always had his hands around me, and that's how it was led here in Minnesota. So with that being said, when I came down here 2 years ago approximately, I had to go to a shelter because I had nowhere to go and I knew no one. So I went to the shelter. I ran across a couple guys that I was, just interacting with, and that's how I found out about the Ujamaa Place, the program. And then he was just giving me more information on that, and it just sparked my interest because when he mentioned that it was like a transformation for, guys that's trying to do something with themselves, it sparked on my interest. So the next day, he specifically brought me to Ujamaa himself. And from there, I didn't look back. And just to elaborate, as far as, like flying international was like one of my dreams. I've been to places, but I never thought that I, get to see it like firsthand. It was crazy. I don't even know what to say, but I got on the plane, I was relaxed, and I felt like I was doing something. And when we finally made it to Ghana, I don't know, it felt like I was already a part of, I don't know how to word it, it felt like I was already home in a way, because how they welcomed us home and how they were so welcoming, it was something that I was definitely not used to. And one thing that I learned from the Ghana experience is being grateful for what you do have, because what you have might not mean a lot to you, but to other people, it can be treasure, so I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but my heart just dropped to my stomach. But I'd like to share that I've been with Ujamaa for about 1.5 years now. well, going on 2 years. And my trip to Africa was like very influential, very like, what's the word? Like, I don't know, just inspiring. And like the feelings and emotions that I shared with my brothers and sisters that went on this trip with me was like a memory I can never forget. I'm very entirely grateful. And like, just like we got there, when we first got there, it was nighttime, and like the welcoming we got was so amazing. It was like, I'm expecting like it to be like real hot and stuff. Like most people would think it's gonna be crazy hot, but it was beautiful weather, and the people were so welcoming, and like the hospitality that they shared with us was amazing. And like the food, I can't even like express how much I love the food there. Like, overall, it was just amazing. I'm so grateful that I shared the experience with Ujamaa, and the love that Ujamaa has given me and everyone. I'm so just the love that Ujamaa has given me is just unfathomable. Like the experiences and bonds I built with everyone, I could never ask for like a better family. It's like a family, it's a home away from home, and I'm just entirely grateful. Thank you so much, everyone.